4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
If NASA announces that its rocket can lift more than 100 tons of load to orbit, then wouldn't you be amazed? But it is not NASA that is making such headlines now. We are talking about SpaceX, a venture of the most interesting celebrity in the world, Elon Musk. So in this video, there will be nothing less than your expectation. SpaceX is dominating NASA in the race, and that is quite a shock for anyone who was born before the time Elon Musk came into the limelight. NASA was the one who was able to put the first American into space and inspired every kid to become an astronaut. They have had cutting-edge aeronautics research, which is revolutionary even now. Using the Hubble Telescope, NASA has provided us with the knowledge of planets and their moons. So basically, they have been the sole reason for enhancing our understanding of space and the surroundings around us. Despite NASA's achievements, why is SpaceX lauded now by the mass as a better aeronautical manufacturing unit? Let us dig deeper into the reasons and, of course, focus on SpaceX's new rocket that is stealing the limelight of NASA. Today, we will be getting right into it as we will be covering every reason why SpaceX is way better than NASA and how it achieved this fame. But hang on. Before we give you all you need to know about SpaceX's new rocket, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Let's get right on to it without any further ado. Starship, SpaceX's epitome of success, is considered the pinnacle of aeronautic engineering by many. With a height of 120 meters and a diameter of 9 meters, now it claims it can carry more than 100 tons of cargo. And why would Elon Musk want to achieve that? He wants to create a cheaper mode of transport for the colonization of Mars. Yep, you heard that right. He is talking about the red planet that hangs out right behind Earth. You might find him thinking cuckoo, but trust us, that man is a visionary. As you already know, SpaceX is an aerospace manufacturing unit in California that will provide space transportation and communication. Confounded by the statement? You have absolutely all rights to be. This intergalactic endeavor is an untapped mission, as nobody seems to be interested in creating a space program for Mars exploration. So, Elon Musk got down to work on this project, and that is when he came up with the idea of sending a small greenhouse to Mars packed with dehydrated nutrient gel that could be rehydrated to grow small house plants, ready for when we arrive. Sounds out of the place, but that is just the quirky side of Elon Musk, who ponders on areas that nobody dared to step in, and he has been successful too. However, what everyone around the world was interested in was the very first life on Mars, and of course the invaluable data such as what is necessary to keep the plants alive on Mars, not to forget a set of amazing photographs. Now, in the initial stages, Elon Musk, though ready to spend a hefty amount for this endeavor, gradually realized that even at his capacity, the cost was too high. For instance, the cheapest US rockets were for $65 million, whereas Russian rockets were $20 million, but they would have had 1960s technology, thus an unreliable resource. Moreover, he needed two of them. By now, Elon Musk understood why there was no substantial progress in space exploration to Mars. It was just that people were not ready to shower $130 million for a project worth hardly any scope for return. Once again, literally. So it is the expense that mattered, but people were intrigued by the world out in space. This is where SpaceX began its journey to create a rocket technology that will not only be efficient, but also cost-effective. I mean, after all, making travel to space cheaper was Elon Musk's sole idea. So as promised in 2020, Elon Musk should be ready with the amped rocket technology by now in 2022. Not just that, he has also claimed that a completely self-sustaining city on Mars would be waiting for us by 2050. A human spaceflight mission for NASA and SpaceX has been in development since 2006. NASA and SpaceX will work together for the first time in a few weeks. SpaceX has received NASA contracts over the last 2 decades. However, some of that work has already been accomplished. The Dragon spacecraft, which was developed for NASA's Commercial Crew program, transported cargo to the International Space Station under one of those contracts. SpaceX was also awarded $4.8 billion for the development of Starliner, a rival spacecraft. In recognition of SpaceX's accomplishment, NASA has funded SpaceX with over $3.1 billion. As a result, SpaceX has never faced any financial pressure, which gave it the ability to remain a young company. It is widely reported that SpaceX made $2 billion in revenue in 2018 with a total of 9,500 employees by January of 2021. In SpaceX, Musk owned about 54% and controlled 78% of the voting power, and Musk dreamt of exploring Mars for many years. Musk has mentioned such ambitious projects as establishing an entire Mars colony, as well as building a greenhouse on Mars. SpaceX's revenues come from its partnership with NASA, which comprises between 43 and 48% of its revenue. Now, the rumor is that Musk is planning to end that partnership. Well, now the most obvious question arises, and you might be wondering why Musk would choose to do that despite his amazing and exhilarating plans. And we have an answer to this. But wait, that's not it, right? There has to be more. Why did Elon Musk take such a drastic decision? Well, let's find out. There were some funding cuts from the US Congress which forced the heads of NASA to choose SpaceX over Blue Origin when it came to choosing 2 lunar lander prototypes, including one of the Blue Origins. And due to unexpected results, Bezos wrote an open letter to NASA Administrator Bill Nelson and said that his company will make a protective lander for astronauts and again stay despite that NASA's president stayed in line with their decisions. Blue Origin, a company owned by Jeff Bezos, sued NASA for picking Elon Musk's SpaceX to handle its $2.9 billion lunar program. And after the lawsuit was thrown out, NASA put SpaceX's contract on hold again. Now, thanks to all of this, Musk's brain got the vibes that his lifelong dream of colonizing the red planet and making humans a multi-planet species was being postponed. Even though NASA offered to help Musk and his company, SpaceX, to achieve his Mars project before 2050, it now seems like because of Bezos, he is getting deferred and seeking after those life goals. However, what Musk desires is to end the NASA partnership because it is NASA that is standing in the way of testing the send-off of the Starship. On the same note, this week Elon Musk declared that his SpaceX expects to send off its advanced bullet-structured Starship into space in January, although SpaceX is not relying on its achievement, as there are tons of dangers during the primary launch. So, wouldn't we agree that it's probably going to be fruitful, yet will gain a great deal of headway? He added that he is sure that Starships send off interestingly on top of mega boosters will effectively arrive at orbit at some point in 2022, and later many Starship test flights 1 year from now. SpaceX then at that point would begin sending off significant satellites and different payloads to orbit on Starships in 2023. Nonetheless, NASA has contracted with SpaceX to involve Starship for conveying space explorers to the lunar surface as soon as 2025, and Musk intends to utilize the reusable spaceships to ultimately land individuals on Mars, which makes his ambitions somewhat late to be accomplished. The sparkly steel Starship and its first stage booster, called the Super Heavy, will be the greatest rocket ever to fly, standing 394 feet of takeoff push, which sounds excessively typical. However, as Musk tweeted, it will be over 2 times NASA's Saturn V rockets that conveyed space travelers to the moon around 50 years ago. This high-tech rocket presently can't seem to take off on a full-scale Starship model that will fly in May to a height of more than 6 miles before effectively arriving back at SpaceX complex close to Texas's southernmost tip. The Starship and the new space rocket for the primary orbital practice run have been both finished, if we believe Musk's words. But what's more, the launch pad and tower testing was effectively finished in December. A send-off in January or February would be the most recent, assuming the Federal Aviation Administration finishes its audit before the end of 2020. Now, what do you think? Do you think this rocket is going to excel? Is this rocket Elon Musk's dream or nightmare? After all, isn't this the reason why Elon Musk strives so hard for? Thus, the man has a lot of potential, yet NASA wouldn't allow him to do every one of the things he realizes he can do if he somehow managed to be acting because of his limitations. Now, despite this, the main thing preventing him from ending the partnership was assets and consents, so when he turned out to be rich, that in such a manner he had the option to stop widespread starvation with only 2% of the all-out total assets, he no longer needed to stress over that issue. It shows up very sure that he will make his way to the Red Planet by eliminating every one of the deterrents that stopped him from accomplishing his objective. Do you think SpaceX's new spaceship is going to rock the world of rockets? Do you support Elon Musk's new venture into space? Let us know down in the comments section. Check out the rest of this channel and keep tabs on us for more amazing videos just like this.